Good afternoon, welcome to VANIKIAS. We will discuss the science questions of FTD. First is what is cryogenic engine? Cryogenic means extremely low temperature, right? The meaning of cryogenics is extremely low temperature, scientific study of very low temperature. Where we use cryogenic engine? We use cryogenic engine especially in case of GSLV, that is geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle, right? GSLV has three stages. One is solid, second is liquid, third is cryogenic, right? Third is cryogenic, and this third stage is called as cryogenic stage. Especially cryogenic. Why it is cryogenic? Because we use hydrogen fuel in GSLV, and we cannot use hydrogen yet when it is in gaseous form. That why we convert it into liquid form, and that liquid state, to convert hydrogen into liquid state, we need minus 250 degrees Celsius, right? So it is extremely low temperature. So cryogenic is extremely low temperature, right? Okay, next. It is used in GSLV, geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle. Okay. Next question is interplanetary mission. Which of the following was India's first interplanetary mission? India's first interplanetary mission is Mongolian. That is, India has Mongolian, that is to Mars, that is to Mars, right? That is also called as Mars orbiter mission, right? MOM. It is also called Mars orbiter mission. MOM, and answer is B, right? It was launched in 2013. Remember, 2013 Mongolian was launched. It is launched by PSLV XL C2025, right? What is this PSLV? Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, right? Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. We have now using two types of GSLV and PSLV. It is high power, that is we can take up to 36,000 km to geosynchronous orbit, GSLV. For low distances we can use PSLV, that is Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. But in this case we have also used PSLV. Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, right? So it is launched by ISRO in 2013. Okay, Mongolian or Mars orbiter mission. What is Apollo 11 mission? Apollo 11 mission is the first manned mission to the moon. First manned mission to moon is Apollo 11 mission. Just guess who would have been launched it, right? Obviously, it is launched by NASA, none other than NASA. Why it was in news? Because 50 years happened, 50 years of anniversary, right? It happened in 2019. So it was in news. It was launched in 1969 by NASA. Right. 1969. It was the first American astronauts. They have gone to moon. That is Apollo 11. So first manned mission to the moon. Right. First manned mission to the moon. That is Apollo 11. C is the answer. Next question. Consider the following statements regarding Li-Fi technology. What is this Li-Fi technology? Li-Fi technology, it uses Li-Fi technology. It makes high frequency radio waves to transmit data at terabytes per speeds. Which of the following statements are incorrect? Right? Here it is incorrect. This is incorrect. Why? Because it do not use radio waves. It use visible light. Li-Fi uses visible light. Right? Li-Fi work underwater where Wi-Fi fails completely. Yes, this is This is right, but here it is asked what is incorrect. So one only is incorrect. Second statement is correct. Li-Fi can work underwater, especially in case of submarines. Right, Li-Fi works and it provides high-speed internet, but it works under the principle of visible light. Right, it works on the principle of visible light. So one only is the answer. Okay. Next question. Consider the following statements. Warm-blooded animals can remain active in cold environment, in which cold-blooded animals can hardly move. Cold-blooded animals can require much less energy to survive than warm-blooded animals. Which of the following statements are correct? Right. Cold. Okay. So already correct. First statement is wrong. Second is right. Cold-blooded animals require much less energy to survive as compared to warm-blooded animals. What is cold-blooded animal and what is warm-blooded animal? Remember, cold-blooded animals, they cannot regulate their internal body temperature. They cannot regulate their internal body temperature. Cold-blooded animal, they cannot regulate their internal body temperature. Right. So, and warm-blooded animal, who are warm-blooded animal? So as they cannot cold-blooded animal, they cannot regulate their internal body temperature. They cannot survive in extreme temperature condition. Right? They cannot survive in extreme temperature. Right? That is cold-blooded animal. Warm-blooded animal is the opposite of their heat. They can regulate and maintain their constant internal body temperature, and they can survive in any temperature range. Right. So cold-blooded animals require much less energy to survive than warm-blooded animals. Require much less energy. Okay. Next, what are the other difference between cold-blooded animals and warm-blooded animals? What are the examples of cold-blooded animals and warm-blooded animals? See, cold-blooded animals cannot maintain their internal body temperature. Right? They obtain their food from surrounding environment, whereas warm-blooded animal, they obtain from the food consumption. Their energy is, in case of cold-blooded animal, they obtain their food from surrounding environment. But in case of energy is obtained from surrounding environment in case of cold-blooded animal. But in case of warm-blooded animal, they get the energy from the food itself. Right. What are the examples? Examples of warm-blooded are birds and mammals. That means we are birds and mammals. We are warm-blooded organisms. But in case cold-blooded means reptiles or insects, amphibians, fishes, they are cold-blooded animals. Right? Okay. So here one only option is the right answer. Sorry, is correct means yes, first is right. Next question. The reason why antibiotics could not solve all the problems of bacterial diseases. Why antibiotics? The biggest problem of antibiotics is that they develop mutant strains resistant to antibiotics. That is what we call as AMR, antimicrobial resistance. It may be antimicrobial, it may be antiviral, antibacterial, but antimicrobial resistance. It is one of the world's top 10 among the top 10 health crises at present. When antimicrobial resistance develops, what happens? A body do not receives the medicines, right? Body do not receive medicines and that become resistant to medicines, and health expenditure increases. So development of strains or resistance to antibiotics, that is the problem of antibiotics. Antibiotics are very dangerous. In normal circumstances like cold and fever, you should never take antibiotics. That kills so many germs in your body, good germs, which are beneficial for your immune system. So antibiotics should not be taken in normal circumstances unless it is prescribed by the doctor in extreme circumstances. Which of the following diseases affect women easily than the men? It is heart attack. Although it is not severe, but normal heart attack is more frequent in case of women. That may not be fatal in case of women, but there is a contradictory belief that men suffers more heart attack, but actually women suffer in terms of frequency. Women are prone to more heart attack in numbers, although that are not very extreme severe, but women are prone to more heart attack, right? Pituitary gland. Where is pituitary gland is located? Pituitary gland located. It is near the medulla oblongata. In case where our spinal cord reaches, that is near the brain, right? It is pituitary gland. It is in the brain, right? Lower side of the brain. Pituitary gland is located, right? The hair of shaving brush clings together to removed from water. Why hair brush? It is because of surface tension. What is this surface tension? Surface tension means it is the property because of which the outer layer of a liquid that behaves like a thin film, right? It behaves like a thin film. Why? They are attracted toward the molecule. That's why they behave like a thin film. And that film, because of which, if you see there is a leaf, suppose a leaf fall from tree, it will float on the water for some time. Because our upper layer behaves like a film, it's not like just a water, so that is called a surface tension. And so the one the major property of surface tension is to occur minimum surface area. That's why because of the contraction, the attraction between the water molecules. So when shaving brush clings together, removed from water, because all the water molecules they attract each other because of surface tension, they clings together shaving brush, right? That is because of surface tension. Water are spherical because of surface tension. A leaf float on the surface of water is because of surface tension. What is viscosity? Viscosity is suppose there are different liquid layers, and we first turn the first layer, then there is some resistance between different liquid layers, right? The second layer of liquid layer will oppose the first layer from motion, right? In case you cannot rotate a honey, right? Like this, like the way we can rotate milk, we cannot rotate honey, because that is because of viscosity. This is called viscosity. The different resistance between different layers of liquid is called as viscosity. And what is elasticity? Elasticity is when you apply force on a particular body, it changes its forms, right? And after the force is removed, it tries to regain the original shape and size, right? So the tendency of a particular body to regain the original shape and size is called as elasticity after the deforming force is removed. Deforming force means those forces that will change the position of or change the shape of a body, that is deforming force. So when deforming force is removed, everybody they want to regain the original shape and size, right? So to regain the original shape and size, that is called as friction. That is called as elasticity, right? So elasticity is the property because of which a body regains the original shape and size after the deforming force is removed. What is friction? Friction is the opposing force that is acted opposite to the direction of motion. So this is the direction of motion. Suppose body is moving in this direction, then this will be the frictional force, right? It is always opposite to the motion. It always opposes the motion. It depends on roughness of surfaces. Roughness of surfaces in contact, that increases the friction. Okay. The spoon dropped from an astronaut in a satellite. What will happen if a spoon is dropped from an astronaut? It will continue to follow the motion of the satellite. Obviously, it will because of inertia of motion, right? Because it has inertia of motion. If a satellite is rotating, it will also rotate in the same velocity. So C is the answer, inertia of motion, because it is the property because of which a body do not change its state of motion or state of rest unless and until an external force is applied. So when a satellite moves, there is no external force, right? That is both they moves in they moves around the earth or the planet. So the spoon will also continue to move around the planet. The period of revolution of geostationary satellite. The period of revolution of geostationary satellite is 365 days, 30 days, 24 hours. What is the period of geostationary satellite? It is 24 hours. Right? Geostationary satellite means whose time period of revolution is same as Earth. Earth rotate around it around 24 hours, and the satellite also rotate around 24 hours. These are time and direction synchronized. Time and direction synchronized. Direction synchronized with the earth, right? So what will happen? So as earth rotates, geostationary satellite, it also rotates with the earth. With the persons in our surface, they will feel like the satellites are in rest as compared to them, with respect to them. So that is called a geostationary satellite. It is a part of geosynchronous satellite. Remember, geostationary satellite, it rotates above in the equatorial plane. Equatorial plane means the plane passing through the equator, right? So its period of revolution is 24 hours. The function of ball and bearing. What is the function of ball and bearing? That is to convert kinetic friction to rolling friction. Remember, rolling friction has minimum friction. Rolling friction, it is the minimum value of friction, right? Sliding friction is the maximum value of friction. That is sliding friction, right? There is also limiting friction. What do you mean limiting friction? When a body is just in the verge of motion, just before the motion, just before the motion there is friction, right? That is called as limiting friction, or that is the maximum value of static friction. When a body is at rest, that is static friction. Kinetic friction when body is in motion. But rolling friction is the minimum friction. That's why ball and bearings are used in wheel for minimum friction. So B is the answer. Sliding friction is maximum friction. What is the name of that system which uses radioactivity to decide the period of materials in prehistoric period? That is carbon dating, right? Carbon dating. Carbon dating means presence of carbon 14, C14. Presence of carbon 14 is measured when a body just start disintegrates from that. When a body dies from that period, carbon 14 present in that body start disintegration, right? So by amount of disintegration we can know the age of a particular material. So that is called as carbon dating, right? C14, the presence of C14. Okay. So next, so the science discussion is completed here, right? Next discussion will start. Thank you.